Now, obviously, the wildfires in Fort McMurray dominated much of our attention and our focus. They reminded all of us of why we are here, to do the people's business. And when there is a major natural disaster, the people's business is frankly more important than ever. So I want to acknowledge government and opposition MLAs, including the Leader of the Official Opposition, for pulling together and staying focused on what mattered when it came to that issue. This session, at least two fundamental accomplishments stand out. First, the Alberta Jobs Plan, and the decisive action, secondly, that we're taking at long last to deal with the threat that climate change poses to our province and, frankly, to our world. For far too long, past governments chose the path of denial and delay. It got us nowhere. Alberta was vilified internationally. Our products remain landlocked. More dangerous pollution was pumped into our air, and nothing or very little was done to diversify our economy or our markets. Climate change denial was and remains a dead end for Alberta.
And let me say there were important moments when the government and opposition acted together to pass private members' bills like those helping in the fight against fentanyl and increasing awareness about post-traumatic stress disorder. But this legislative sitting also highlighted something else that is notable: a stark contrast in approach and vision between the government and the opposition. The legislative agenda was very ambitious, but I'm pleased we moved through it in a timely and efficient manner. We are working on behalf of Albertans, and I think there too is a stark contrast in approach with that of the opposition. Their behaviour during Ontario Premier Kathleen Wynne's visit to the legislature marked a low point that I hope we never see repeated again.
We've obviously passed a fair amount of legislation at this point, but you know, the climate change leadership plan is one that it's a very ambitious policy piece, and it was a challenging piece. You know, we promised we would act on it during the election. We had a timeline that we promised we would meet in time for the Paris conference, and then to move forward and still meet that timeline, we have an ambitious amount of work that needs to be done. And so I was very pleased that we were able to get it through the House. As Brian said, in a drama-free way. We were, you know, our caucus stood up and said, we're going to put the time in and we'll be here as long as it takes. We didn't have to have, you know, all these sort of heavy-handed approaches that sometimes become necessary. We just did our work and moved forward on it. And so I was just very proud. I was proud of the fact that we got this ambitious piece of legislation through, and I was proud of the way we got it through.